This is the Eagle's Nest, and I'm your host, Jeff Porcaro, and I'm here with our cross country and track athlete, David Skelton. David, go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us what events you run and what year you are in school.
So I'm a senior and I do cross country and track. And in track, I do the 800 mile and 2 mile.
Well, that's a lot of running. Um, my kids were throwers going through track and stuff, and so they don't know how to run. So, what have you been doing with your time now that we're not out uh, competing right now? Um, I assume you probably spent a lot of time out on the road running around.
Yeah, I've done lots of road mileage. I've been biking a lot too. And Andres has been sending out workouts for us to do on the track and tempos to do on the road too.
That's great. And with all of these breaks and stuff, a lot of people have been out looking at, watching movies and other things. I kind of want to ask you, do you have a favorite sports themed movie and why would you pick that?
Um, yeah, so I actually really like cycling. So it's a documentary about Greg LeMond in the 1989 Tour de France, and it's just him going against all odds and winning, and it's just really powerful to me that he goes against everyone and wins still. So that's probably my favorite one.
That's great. And with that, kind of keeping to this theme, do you have a particular sports hero?
Yeah, I would say Greg LeMond. He was this American guy that no one really knew who he was in the cycling world, and Europe was a superpower in cycling. And this American teenager comes along and starts winning races in Europe, and he goes and wins the Tour de France when he's 25, and then he gets shot by his brother with a shotgun, and then he comes back 2 years later with bullets still in him and wins the Tour de France again. So he just goes against all odds and just keeps coming back and winning, and it's just super
Wow,
great.
that's amazing. Um, so when we talk about when you were in the sports season and stuff, and you would get ready to compete, what do you do to kind of quell the butterflies and get into the zone to be able to compete at your best?
So part of our warm up routine for races was like a mile and a half to 2 mile jog to just keep warming up, and I would go through the race in my mind, and I would just remind myself of what I've done through all the years I've been running, all the workouts I've done, and just was new, and I just knew that I could do what I was about to do.
That's great. And as you're out working out and doing all these practices and things, what have your teammates and yourself done to kind of keep the practices and the workouts fun?
Um, it's it's hard to have a mile repeat workout fun, uh, especially when it's like really hot and stuff. But we do lots of jokes. We just mess around a lot. We try to find things on runs. We found a couple signs, and then we throw baseballs around while we run. Just a bunch of stuff like that, just to help keep our mind off the actual run and just to keep it fun.
That's great. Those are all great things to do. And with that, if you think back past all of those times you've run in competition, and whether it's during track season, doing distance on a track, or whether it's cross country out in some of those great cross country places, what is your favorite memory from running in high school?
My favorite memory was probably this last cross country season. It was the first time that our team qualified for state in 4 years, and it was just really cool to see all the hard work finally pay off. It was such a good group of kids, and everyone that was on that team deserved to be at state.
That's great. And I got an opportunity to watch you guys at region, and it was a lot of fun to be able to get out there and take some pictures for you. So that's a great accomplishment that you were able to get to state. If I had to ask, there's a lot of really great venues out there and places that you would go to compete. Where is your favorite place that you've competed?
For cross country, we go down to Arizona a couple of years ago and this year, and that's probably my favorite race for cross country. It's just really nice, low altitude, get lots of air, and it's just I don't know, just the energy there is really big. It's a pre-national race, so there's tons of people there, lots of cheering. And for track, I would probably say at the BYU track for BYU Invitational. It's the same type of thing. Lots of people there, lots of energy, and just lots of potential.
That's great. How long have you been running? What age did you start?
I started running in seventh grade. Um,
Okay.
my brother was a runner before me, so I'm like, hey, I might as well. And it was actually pretty funny. My first practice, I just showed up in like my school clothes, so I was wearing like khaki shorts and like a t-shirt, and I went on this 4 mile run with a bunch of other guys that were like in running clothes and stuff. It was just pretty funny.
Oh, that's great. Um, as we kind of get to the end of this season, and the fact that we probably won't pick up sports, we don't know yet. But the way things look, it's probably not there. Where is your mind, and what are you looking to do as you get out of high school and move on? What plans do you have?
I want to run for UVU. They have a great running program, and if at all possible, try to find a cycling scholarship somewhere. But I don't think that's gonna happen because no one does that. So yeah, about to put in my admission papers, so that's
Okay.
cool. So yeah.
Very cool. Those are all great things. And, kind of as we get to the end and this is your senior season, and as you kind of look back, what advice would you give to your fellow athletes and others kind of following behind as you move on?
I would say don't lose sight in why you started the sport. Um, Especially for freshmen and like younger kids. When they start the sport, they're really excited to be in high school and to just start doing it. But senior year, it's kind of dragging on me, especially now with no races or anything. It's kind of hard to keep running, and I've had to go back and really find out why I love running and to go back and remember that.
That's great. Well, we want to thank you for joining us today and appreciate you getting on to talk with us.
Yep, no problem.
All right. So we've just been talking with Maple Mountain athlete, cross country and track and distance runner, David Skelton. And we want to remind everyone that we would like you to follow our social media. You can follow us, subscribe to our YouTube channel, or um, follow our Instagram page or Facebook page. Those three are all Maple Mountain Sports, all one word. And you can also follow us on Twitter with Maple MTN Sports. And we appreciate you joining us today. And I am your host, Jeff Porcaro, and this is the Eagle's Nest.